All right, here's the finished SIP. I was pleasantly surprised at how well this went together. It was a very Lego-like build, very few problems. And if you want to see what they were and how I addressed them, watch the building portion of this. But in this review, I'm just going to go over real quick. It's a nice build. It looks nice. It looks great on my Halloween display. I think I have a picture of that, or I'm going to be putting one in somewhere, but not here. And the only issues maybe with it is back here. It looks nice, but it's kind of fragile in building. These guys knock off pretty easily, and so do these. But if you don't bump them too much, they're okay. But it looks pretty nice. I was kind of hoping to maybe build an interior for it, but getting in there just to remove things, probably too much. It's more effort than it would be worth. So I do like the rigging. The sails are a little bit, they're nice, but they're very flimsy or thin. They can fray, so just be careful with them. And then finally, the only other issue too is, and you'll see in the building, is they have you build this structure relatively early on. It doesn't stay up. It kept falling off. So I literally added this after the ship was built. And then once you get these guys on and down there, it's a little bit better. But if you knock on it, it's going to come off. So there you go. The colors are nice. The only, I guess not only, but one other downside is I did order this from Amazon. It was, Prime Day or whatever it was. And I think I paid about $140 delivered to my door with tax and everything. But as with Amazon sets, and the boxes just get destroyed. They're terrible with that. They either add stickers to them, or they just look like they've been through a war or whatever. So just know that if you're looking to collect this, don't order it from Amazon. These sets don't tend to hold their value that well. They look, at least not this. I don't think this one will. But they look nice. If you order it from like AliExpress, you can get it. It's probably it was actually the same price. But usually when you order from AliExpress, you're not going to get a box anyway. So the manual was pretty good too, to be honest. It wasn't, like usually they tend to add more steps per page than a Lego would, but these were relatively straightforward. My only issues, and it's totally a me issue, is the colors built on that table. Not the best idea. So if you've got something like lighter, like white or something, it'll make things a little bit easier, I think. And then finally, this is the little extra thread that you get. You get four lengths of it. Those are the extra pieces. And then I guess finally is one last addition is I bought some waxed thread that I'm going to try to rig some rigging to go from here to there on each of the sails like a real ship. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. It's something to try. If I do it and I'm successful, I'll add like a little video for that at the end of the building thing. Anyway, there you go. I do recommend it. It is not an 8+ set like it says on the box. It's probably a 14 to 16-year-old set. It does get a little bit heavy, but it is just, it gets a little frustrating here and there, but it's challenging frustrating. So it's not horrible. It's not like the Nebula B or something like that. Anyway, enjoy the build. Thanks for watching. This is the box. It's not the best condition as usually from Amazon. It seems things get beaten up. I did call the company. They offered to send me a new box if I wanted one. So I told them that, I would have liked one better, but I can live with it. But it is a little beaten up. The back is a little bit better. And it's got a lot of tape on it, as you can see. But that's what I have to deal with. So I'm going to open this up here and hopefully not make too much of a mess. See how that goes, and we'll see what we have inside here. Oh, there we go. Oh, do it that way. Steak knives, or little carving knives there. But there's a ton of tape on this whole thing. At first I thought maybe it was a resell or something like that, but no, it's just the way they package it. This is the first Mold King set that I've actually had in a box. So, all right, so here we go. I'll dump this out. Hopefully it'll be on the camera. I can't really tell from where I'm standing. But here you go. Kind of heavy, by the way, a little deceptively. So there you go. I think that's everything. I hope that's everything. Nothing in the box. So there you go. You can kind of see what there is. I don't know how many bags there are, but like before, I will sort through the bags themselves, give you a little picture, and we'll go from there. So there you go. Oh, is there no manual? Oh, there it is. I was gonna say, oh, there's no manual. Oh, at least they shrink wrap the manual. That's a much better picture. I wish the box was like that. All right, I'll sort it out, get back to you. Okay, so I got the bag sorted out, but I have to do this freehand because there's just too much, it takes up too much space. I couldn't get it all in one static shot. So you have, as usual, just one big bag with a bunch of smaller bags on the inside. You do have 12 of them. Just quick stand. They do have various, degrees of parts. Like this is one of the lesser bags. And, well, not too much more to say about bags. You do get a bag of whole parts. You do have 3 bigger plates and a smaller one, 5 masts, a bag of 1x1 tiles rounded, and a bag of 1x2 plates. Just a bunch of those. And then you have this bag here, which I kind of opened up. It looks like it's a ball of thread. I don't know why you need that much thread, but maybe this is bigger than I thought it was going to be. Hopefully it fits on the set that, my display. That piece of paper is really wounded in there. So I don't know if that piece of paper means anything, if it's decals or whatever, but it is stuck in there. I can't get it out. So that's it. There's your manual. Much better. This would have been a much better cover for the box. And it looks pretty, I was actually kind of surprised. It looks relatively laid out pretty well. There's not much, it's not so dense as some of the other ones. And it seems pretty clear, easy to see. So, which when you get up to my age, your eyes start going a little bit. You want clarity. I still don't have glasses. Don't have to wear glasses, but it's getting there. I think the cheaters are on their way. Anyway, there you go. Here we are. Step 1 is done. Couple weird things about it and a couple nice things about it. It's really solid build all the way through. There's nothing that was really unstable. You might have saw me do a little surgery on one part. I had a malformed part, so I could not put one of the bricks on. So I had to do a little surgery with this to cut it away so I can get that part on there. But it's a relatively strong build. All the parts fit together pretty well. They actually do feel pretty well. This was a little bit of a bear to get on, but other than that, it was pretty good. There was one other thing, and I'm trying to remember what it was while I'm thinking about it. These are extra pieces. Going on past history, I'm assuming they're going to be used in the next step. I don't know why it's there. These probably not. And then... that was it. The other thing I noticed too, you see how there's green ones there and green ones there? When you first put them in, they're in one position. When later in the instructions, you may have saw me move these around, they're in different positions. Choose which one you want. I went with the arrangement that it was on the latest step or the further to the last step. I don't know if they're going to change again, but that was kind of weird. It threw me off a little bit, like I couldn't figure out why those weren't lining up. Anyway, there you go. Nothing really odd to report. The only thing is when you build these, don't bother mounting them at the beginning because they're going to fall off. When you build up this section right here, you keep pressing down, it keeps popping it off. So there's no real point in doing that. You can add them on easy enough later. Set those aside, get those out, spin this puppy around. Not a whole lot of difference between the two. It was a solid build, you know, nothing odd, nothing was deformed or anything like that. So pretty straightforward. There you go. It looks pretty nice actually. I like the colors of it. So, so far I'm having a good time. All right, on to 3. Okay, so this is pretty much a straightforward build for bag 3 also. You're gonna notice that this isn't all the way down. I'll get to that in a second. It's relatively solid build so far. I will say that it's been, a Mold King set, it's been very like a Lego-like experience. The parts fit well together without being too difficult to put together. And it's relatively well designed so far. So, but what I wanted to point out is, like, you can see this part right here, the seam. About 2/3 through the instructions, there's nothing really attaching this to this other than the base. So if you press down on things, it separates apart. So just be a little bit careful when you're pressing things down in this section. Just hold it from the bottom and press down. Likewise for the rest of the build, like when you're doing something on one side or the other, if you press down on one side, it tends to roll over on whatever. So what I did is, you probably saw, is I just go down and do both sides at the same time, and then you can get another thing. The reason why I have this separated is because this is the first part that really wasn't that great. There is only one support here, and in my opinion, you need them throughout the rest, because as you press these down, it separates, and I just couldn't get it to go. So I was going to do this real time. So go grab your bag of garbage bricks, which I always have, and just basically add, you know, I think it's it's 3 2x2 bricks or whatever you have, you know, just use the garbage pieces and just line it up. See how it doesn't really stay together. Line it up on each one so that when you actually press down on it, there's something to hold on to it, and it'll make a much better build. You're never going to see them. I don't know why they didn't give you more of these just to do that. They just did it in that one place. So you can do that if you want. I'd recommend it. You're never going to see it, and it'll make for a nice sturdier build. And plus, anything else, like you see, it keeps falling apart. There really isn't a whole lot, and you can see the curvature too, which tiles tend to do, so it doesn't hold it as much. So, and then lastly, these are your extra bricks. What I mentioned last time in the last step about those supports underneath there, do it, because you're pressing down a lot on this, and if it was this flimsy, you would collapse this. It was really nice to be able to build these on that. You could probably save a little time. You may have noticed, I don't know if in the time lapse, if you can see, as I said before, a little anal retentive on some things. So I took the time to level all the cannons, and let me tell you, your fingers get a little abused during this step. To align all that, you really don't need to spend time aligning them, because when you press them down and then you put these guys in, you can just press them up and they're all of a sudden all level. So you're building, I think, 12, 14 cannons, so that takes a little while. The other thing is that, again, You know, each of these parts have those little markings that, you know, where they were on the spur when they were manufactured. So I spend time to turn those down so nobody can see them, so they're not facing up. So that's why it took me a little bit extra long. It probably took me a little bit longer than it'll take you to do it. But other than that, it's a pretty solid build. Not much more to tell. I'll just give it a quick spin. A lot of cannons on this puppy. It is looking really nice though. Not a play set, I will say that, because there's not much to really do. So it's definitely a nice model, but I think it's going to look nice in the Halloween setup that I have going there. Anyway, that's 4. Okay, now a whole lot to report on this one. Oop, this guy got a little off. You're just building up this back part a little bit. You can kind of see that there. There's these parts right here. Just kind of make sure you did this right. I put the plates on the wrong, so if you do it wrong, then it won't go together or it won't fit. There'll be a point. So just make sure you do that correctly. Little plant life there for you. And that's really about it. Not a whole lot to tell. This little plank here, built really well. I like the coloration. It's coming out to be, I'm really kind of impressed with this. Very happy with it so far. These are your extra parts. You get some plants left over. And then this guy was from that first bag. You remember when I said there was a bunch of parts left over? He's the only one that's left. And I think that's about it. Okay, so 6 is done. Pretty much straightforward, but I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of late. My eyes are a little bit tired. I had some issues building this, but it's all on me because it was light. You know, the dark brown and stuff was starting to get hard to see where some of these things were going. So you saw me put things on and then replace them. That's neither there or there. A couple things though. One, these guys again, you're gonna want to put, you know, one in there, one for there. This makes pressing these guys down a whole lot easier if you've got some support there. While we're out talking about this section, for some reason, you see this decking here? They have the decking down here too. Hopefully you can see that. But you're never gonna see it, so why even bother? So one thing I might do after this is all built to check out the feasibility is I might separate it by sections so you can lift it up, and then, you know, I'll build up some interior detail, just custom built, just to make it look a little bit nicer. I don't know how complicated the rigging is going to be. It may not even be worth doing that. Another couple, something else, the little light, the frames for the lamps here, they are in the plant bag right here. I spent a little time looking for them. For a minute, I thought they might have been lost or not included. So, but they are in that bag. So, you know, if you can't find them, there you go. There's your back. This came out pretty nice. I did take off the barnacles / plant life, whatever, seaweed, whatever you want to talk, because every time I was pressing on something, it just broke off. I got annoyed with it. So like the structures here that I have taken off, I'll just put them on at the end when I know I'm not pressing on there. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. I still like it. Oh, forgot too. When you're pressing these tiles down, don't grab the cannons, especially these guys right here, because once this is on, you got to rip it all up to replace the cannons if you knock them off loose. So be a little cautious about that. 7 is done, and you're just working on this general area right there. I kind of spin it around. Oh, by the way, I ended up just taking these guys off too. Add it to the collection of things that keep falling off as you build this. I think that's the last of it. I don't think there's anything else that's flimsy. So I'll set those aside. That's your extra piece. Get rid of that. So there you go. It actually looks pretty nice, but I'm kind of baffled a little bit as why they put all this detail in here and you're never going to see any of it. There's like this and there. I don't even know if I can get this open with my fingers, but there's some detail down there that's no longer that's hidden. The lamps right there and there are hidden. So I don't get why they're wasting the parts with that. So hopefully, because it's not like this is going to easily come up. So anyway, not a whole lot more to talk about. It does build well. I mean, it's quick. I'm glad I didn't do it last night. I would have been totally lost with some parts. So there you go. Pretty much just working on the aft section there. It's really pretty straightforward. I am pretty impressed with the clutch power of these parts. They're not too hard. They're very Lego-like, whereas before they'd either be too loose or too tight and, you know, whatever. So I don't know what they did, but the parts in the set are real, even over the Mold King Nebula B that I did before. So a couple things that I did changed a little bit is one, I screwed this up a little bit. I made all these orange guys flush. So there's that little overhang that you see here are under the twos. You want this flush with the edge. So, you know, kind of pay attention to that. I screwed that up, my fault, I'm tired or something, I don't know. When you do these rigging pieces here, and I think it was this one, no, it was down here, that you build it twice. I made a left and a right version. You don't have to do that. It's just me being me. On the inside, they have a little organ that you kind of can see. I don't know if I can, maybe I can use this planter. Yeah, there we go. But you're never going to really see it. It's like they designed this to have an interior that you could see, but you would have to tear this thing apart to be able to see it. I don't know why they're doing that, but maybe they thought, maybe the original design, I don't know, had tiles instead of plates so you could lift things off, which is, I've talked about before, I might try doing as long as it doesn't get in the way of everything. If they've got masts and sail and stuff, then I really don't understand the reasoning for putting the parts in there. So that's about it for 7, pretty straightforward. And again, I'm really impressed with the clutch power. Those are your little extra pieces. Probably not extra, gonna be used somewhere else like they've done before. 9 is done. I hope to get this done by tomorrow. I don't know if I'll have enough time, but you're basically working on that back part there, here. It's this, you know, it's a little fragile putting it together. It's the most fragile bit so far to this. So just take your time with it. Once it gets on there, it's okay, but you probably saw that I had to pull things apart to get it in there because as I pressed things down, other things broke. You'll have to figure it out on your own. I don't know how else to explain it, but you know, whatever. The other thing too is this plate, in the previous step, you build up, I think it's the previous step or the one before, you build this up and, oh, maybe I'll just tear it apart a little bit here just to show you because I don't think words are going to describe it enough. So you got this part right here. In the instructions, they have a 1x2 plate that they put on top of it, you know, in this curved thing. You actually have to reverse it. The instructions are wrong because of the little knobs here. If you put it the way they build it, this won't go on because it bumps into this tile. So just make that adjustment. It turns out it's pretty nice. You're building up some more rigging here and also this little decking throughout here and this. So a relatively straightforward step. One mistake though, or it's not a mistake, it's just a design, is this boat isn't steering. You got those railings that get in the way there. I might play around with it to see if I can arrange those because it's not even anyway. So you can maybe adjust things and, you know, just to get that free. Not that it connects to anything, but it just seems kind of weird. But it's also a display model, so it's not like it's really going to be floating. They need it to steer, and you're building this. I guess I'm babbling a little extra on this. Here are your extra parts. I'm assuming these flags are going to be used elsewhere, just like the previous steps. Back here on the detail, you had these parts in the previous bags, the steps bags. So just hold on to those. I'm sure they're going to be used for something. Anyway, there you go. On to 10. This is the most difficult step so far. Very precarious in putting things in. I'll explain. So these guys go in, but most of the time I knocked out the little, the part that they plug into. So have this guy ready if you have one of those Lego sets. And what you'll do is as they pop out, just set it back in there, push this down, and that'll secure it again. It's the only way I could figure it to get it to do that, and then just place the cannon back down. So, but those were kind of a pain to put in. You might have saw me struggling through those. The other aspect is, but I don't think I can keep it in frame, is you're building this whole structure right here. You know, building this up is okay, still fragile, but securing it and getting it to go together was a few words of profanity were used during this process. I will admit. It is much more secure now to the point where I added these parts back in from earlier. Remember, I took them out, so I feel good. But there's still these guys right here that I'm not confident putting on yet, just because of building. So, you know, don't forget that you have those. And then I have to put these back on later, but I'll probably cover that. But, you know, just line it up. But it looks really nice, and it's much more secure now. I might actually put a plate in here to connect it, but it's a little better. So would it take a knocking or something? No, but at least it's not falling down like it was before. Lastly, in this step is, and hopefully I'm going to get this in the camera. So on this step right here, where you see these parts, this part and this part, you see that they have the green on top of this. I inverted them, because it makes connecting these much easier. If you do it like they have it, these little balls are too close to the center and you can't get those to clip on. So just make that change. It's just a cosmetic thing. It's not a big deal. Or what you could do is, you know, I tried looking, you may have saw me going back through the instructions at the end of this. You do get 2 extras of these, which I might actually go back and do now that I'm thinking about it, and put them in there, and then you can put those back out. That's an option if you want, which I'm probably going to do now that I'm thinking about it. So there you go, and then this is the other side. It looks really nice though. It was very frustrating, but the results are kind of worth it. Just have this in near, because it was a lifesaver to get those to be secure. All right, today is Halloween. I'm hoping to get the last 2 bags done, but I've got pre-Halloween stuff to set up for. So, all right, be well. This is bag 11. Sorry for disappearing during the build a couple times. Had some trick-or-treaters. First time in a couple of years, actually. So that was kind of fun. Anyway, you're just building the masts. Not a whole lot to report. Pretty straightforward. Everything clings pretty well. There was one piece that's a little bit loose, but other than that, there you go. The only thing maybe is, instead of trying to put all these on at one time, put 1 or 2 on and then just kind of build it up, because it's a little hard to press those down. I'll spin this puppy around a little bit. I don't know how much of it's going to be in the camera. It's getting a little heavy, but it's looking pretty good. I mean, I think this is literally, I built a lot of pirate ships, most of them are Lego. This is the first non-Lego one. This is a really nice ship. I'm really happy with it. If they were to ever do a Black Pearl or something like that, I'm buying it. Hopefully I'll get the bag 12 done tonight, and then I can officially say I got this done by Halloween. So the sails are pretty cool, but they are, some fit better than others. These guys will be, there's going to be some rigging to hold these up a little bit, I believe. I'm trying to flip them around, but they're pretty nice. They're a nice cloth, kind of greenish if you can't tell. Oh, don't want to do that. Where to find this thing. So there you go. That's the final ship, pretty much. I'll have to figure that out. Later, I'll continue spinning this a little bit. And then, the only thing is I still got to put these on, but I have to kind of look at it from upside down, and I didn't want to deal with that for right now. So there you go. The other part of 12 is you're building the base. But I left it off because I'm going to put it on my Halloween display, which I'm going to do next, and then I'll come back. Okay, there she is in all her glory in the Halloween set that I had set up. I took this picture after I did the final rigging, so you'll see that in there. So watch if you're interested in that following this. And there you go, it fills up that space pretty nicely. So I'm very happy with it, as you can tell, as I've said it many times throughout the video. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, appreciate it. Happy Halloween, happy Thanksgiving. Okay, I did the rigging. I don't know how this explanation is going to go, but I'll give it a shot. So you can see right there that I did it on the outside rings. But occasionally, like right here, you have to loop it around the back to get some tensions. I anchored the thread. I started the thread here and then ran it up, down, and up again 3 times. And then that's how I found the length of thread that you need. So, and then you're gonna have some extra, and this is what the thread looks like that I bought. So, just measure from here to, like on the lower one, to here, sorry, and then back down 6 times. and then a little extra to cross it. Because what I did was for the lower one, I started it on this guy, and then it went from this one up to here, looped around, came down to here, and then looped back up, and then I bridged across the crow's nest there, and then just did the opposite on the other side. Once you get used to it, you know, the pattern, then it's pretty easy, and then it's just a matter of just doing it repetition. So I actually started with these to figure it out, because that's 3 and it just runs up into there. And then you just flip it around to the other side and come down, and you'll end up in the same place. Anyway, the whole thing took about a half hour, 45 minutes or so once I figured it out. The 6 wides, I did the front, you know, that's the bow. The first 3 go up to the lower crow's nest here. And then the second 3, they go up to the top there. And then I just loop them through that loop there for this side. I bridge it across and go down the other side. Hopefully that helps. You know, I think it makes it look nice. I was flirting with maybe gluing strips across it. Nope, not doing that. So the other added benefit is it really tightens these guys up. They're not loose anymore. So that was kind of nice. So I think it looks nice. You give it a shot. You know, if it doesn't work, worst case scenario is you spent $3.50 on some thread. So that's about it. I will say though that you do tend to knock into the sails and what have you. So just be careful when you're threading it. But it really wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be. And the results are, I think, really nice. Anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching. Be well.